Yo, what's going on, guys? Just got done working at the car dealership. Yo, what's happening? Sorry, it's hard to read. Backy. Just got done doing a little workout in my basement. Now sitting in the sauna. Gonna try to start it. I came in a little bit earlier before the sauna got up to temperature, so at least it'll should not overheat so fast. So, um, kind of what I wanted to talk about today was I'm designing a manual right now. I'm at week 8 of designing a manual for training kids. So ages of about 5 to 8, 9 years old. And I find it very interesting how in America we do a lot of the things obviously incorrectly compared to our old Soviet counterparts of how they used to do things. But we can learn a lot from, especially this manual, because I'm going to list a lot of books for parents and coaches to read. Um, the manual will be a step by step process on what I feel is optimal for the ages of 5 to 8 or 9 years old, based on the fact that I've trained kids that age, some of which have had disabilities. And so a lot of these exercises, I'm like, well, have I done these with my disabled children? And I'm like, yeah, I've done it. So I feel like they're safe to use for normal kids. What's going on? And so I think it's going to be a good manual to get a good baseline, at least the first 12 weeks. Obviously, after that, you're probably going to need some type of a custom coaching apparatus in order to progress from there, because it's hard to do manuals and snapshots because you don't know how progressed the kid is. And then two, you don't know how well they're going to adapt to the training. And so a lot of that takes a lot of time, energy, and effort. So it's easier to sometimes in ways to do that in person. But it's the same thing with like writing manuals, for example. When you're writing manuals, you're doing the best that you can do with the information that you have. So the good thing about kids from 5 to 8, 9 years old is it's pre-puberty for most or all. And so that makes it more simple. There's not a vast amount of differences between children of male or female makeup at that age, so that makes that pretty easy. Um, let's see. What's up, Gary? And so, with that being said, it makes that a little bit more simple, but it's still a complex scenario to train smaller kids and even all the way up to normal adults, just based on the fact that for me, being a perfectionist, you want the loading scheme, parameter, timeline, and all that to be correct, in which a lot of people don't want to pay for the expertise. So I feel like a manual that's in within range financially for most people is a better bet than trying to get parents to understand that there are certain age parameters in which certain physical qualities are developed that you cannot get back. So coordination, brain to spinal cord to muscle tissue, a lot of those connections and how well they regulate or turn on, shut off, and work correctly amongst each other is heavily developed at the ages between 5 and 9. And so if you're not doing a lot of, I wouldn't say insanely taxing, but strenuous work in these areas of balance and coordination and flexibility between the ages of, let's say, 5 and 10, you're still going to be able to get better at them, but you won't be as most optimal. So you have to be very, very careful with that. Um, 16 years old, participating in powerlifting at my school. My current maxes are currently weighing 120, 135. Don't be too concerned with pushing to the next level at 16. So you really shouldn't start ramping up your training insanely hard with weights like that, in my opinion, until you're about 20. Not necessarily because I think it'll stunt your growth. It's a lot because you have to learn how to keep training when your body wants to stop. And at 16, you have a lot of hormones. You've got a lot of peers that you want to appear stronger to, or it might be because, you want to attract the opposite sex. It could be a lot of different things, but powerlifting, in my opinion, should be reserved to go all out when you're a little bit older. That's why you see a lot of guys that break all-time world records are around mid 20s to late 20s. But if you don't make it to that age, then it won't matter. So what I would say is slow down on having that competitive bite and make sure that your full spectrum athleticism is optimal. So that would be my biggest thing for you. You're already on the right path. If you're watching, yeah, for sure. You're pretty strong for that weight. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, you are pretty strong for that weight. But what we have to realize is that, again, you have to look at a little bit of where you need to be in 5 and 10 years. So you find that kids your age, around 16, have no conception of how to get where they're supposed to go about 25 to 30. And then you have to also make sure your lifestyle is conducive for those particular goals. Um, so 58 years old, 10 years in the Army, still got to do a lot of lifting, but no more max work like when I was 20. Yeah, that's pretty true. You can still do it, you just have to be careful. Um, if you have stubborn legs, the best thing I can tell you to do is get on the hypertrophy manual or the power building manual. Both of those will be really awesome. The power building one and or two, I can't remember, one of them was a distinct modification, or I consider a smarter application to Tom Platz's leg training. And if anybody knew Tom Platz's legs, were probably some of the best wheels we've ever seen in bodybuilding. So some of that was translated over from his training with my twist on it. And that's what got me that 520 squat for 24 reps. But yeah, at my biggest, leg wise, my legs were 32 and a half inches when I was 290, all while supporting right around a 40-inch waist. So having 32-inch legs with a 40-inch waist or below is very difficult. And I was able to do it, and really hypertrophy wasn't my goal. It was just strength. So I would go hypertrophy 1, 2, and then power building 1, 2 is what I would do. Yeah, don't push it too hard because you might end up with lasting joint pain at a young age. Yeah, and that's the thing is that's what people don't realize is like when you want to train, training should be based upon what you can recover from and also what the passive tissues can withstand, not necessarily what the muscles can contract. So, we think of strength as in, hey, I'm super strong, I can lift this. But in reality, once the joint tells you that it's had enough, or the cartilage tells you it's had enough, or the ligaments or the tendons tell you that it's had enough, you got a big problem. And so those tissues take much, much longer in order to adapt to training. And so you have to be very slow, methodical, and patient because your ligaments and tendons are probably not going to reach their maximum capacity, in my opinion, until you're probably close to 30. So if you're not hitting those bigger weights by the time you're around 27, 28, and it's a tough one to swallow, and it's one that I tried to help another youth lifter that's a little bit younger than you, is like, no, nobody cares what you can do at 16 years old. People care what you can do at 26 years old. So sit down and have a really good coach to look at and design and help you progress into a 10-year plan. That's how you're really going to hit it. Let's see. RTV back in the 70s. What's going on, Running Man? Yeah, so again, I think that hits the nail on the head, and I'm glad whoever it was at 16 years old was talking about that. A pyramid is only as tall as its base. That's exactly right. So what I wouldn't do is completely, totally focus on powerlifting right now. I would wait until your early 20s to completely flip the switch and focus on powerlifting because you're still building a base and you're still and you just started if you look up Istvan's books, you've just started the train to train phase, which means that really competitive lifting should not be in your wheelhouse, which is why I was super against the USAPL and other federations starting to have like pre-teenage lifting categories. It's stupid in my opinion. And it's not stupid because of the age. It's stupid because the Americans, especially the West, do not have the proper coaching and powerlifting to take little kids at like 8, 9 years old. I don't even know what the age bracket is now, but like we don't have the capacity as coaches to understand how to train kids that age. I'm not saying that introducing powerlifting is necessarily a wrong way to go. I think that the lack of education and coaching that we have makes that insanely difficult to implement correctly. In almost every video that I've ever been sent, either accidentally or found myself, or through DM on 8 and 9 year olds lifting weights, their form is absolutely fucking atrocious. And what do you think you're doing by having a kid lift heavy with improper form? I can tell you what you're doing is you're not only doing damage, you're also creating a poor motor pattern that by the time they realize that they were around a bunch of idiots when they were kids, they're going to be 4 and 5 years deep into a bad motor pattern. And then they're going to get a skilled coach and have to take 10 steps backwards to go 12 steps forward versus one step back to go 2 steps forward. Meaning that it's going to be very discouraging because fixing technique that's already been reinforced improperly for long periods of time is way harder to fix than technique that has just started new. So if you're not a really good technician, you need to be careful. Jamie Caprio, what's going in a very shitty hotel room gym with 25-pound dumbbells and a multi-machine? Best is the hypertrophy or travel manual. Travel manual, and always pack bands with you when you travel. The travel manual is mostly utilized with band tension of like mini and average or light bands. And you can pack that in anything. I pack it on my motorcycle. So you don't really need the equipment. But if you have 25-pound dumbbells, you could do a lot of the warm-ups. You could do like high volume sets. There's a lot of things you could do. So I would definitely go with that. What's going on, SC310? Hey, I need you guys, and I don't see you guys' posts. I need you guys commenting more on the YouTube videos. So we got 12 or 15 people watching right now, and I see a lot of names that I know of, but I don't see you guys really commenting and reposting a lot of the YouTube videos. We need to get that channel up to where it's self-sustaining. And it's gotten a lot easier now with being a little bit more navigation savvy on my phone, but my friend Dildo, Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking idiots. So again, if you can, get on YouTube, make some comments, try to share some stuff around. That helps a ton. Let's see. Rose for me being a Planet Fitness member. Oh yeah, that SC310 Planet Fitness is the fucking worst, dude. Like, and again, if you're traveling or there are just no other gyms in your city, I get it, you know. Steel costs are crazy. It's expensive and hard to build your own home gym. But the amount of fucking douchers I see working out at a Planet Fitness is just brutal. And you're not really going to get any real training done there. I mean, any place that is using a day to sell pizza is automatically telling you that they're not in the right mindset. And what helps me with those kind of gyms say that they're garbage is the fact that they base all of their income off of membership dues. So an ideal gym like Planet Fitness, here's what they want to do. They want to get 1,000 members that pay 10 or whatever dollars a month, and they only have 5% of the people that actually come in and use it on any kind of a regular basis. It's an ultimate money-making machine because you don't care because it's only 10 or 15 bucks. So you don't ever cancel it when you stop using it. And most people stop going to the gym after they sign up for a membership in between 2 and 6 weeks. And so for me, as a business plan, when I first moved over to Columbus, believe it or not, I was a trainer at Lifetime Fitness, which are big gyms, pretty fancy for what they are. And to listen to management tell us about how they run their shit and how they pay off everything and how the business model works, they had upwards of like 1,000 or more members paying $70 a month. Then they had the trainers taking half of their income. So if you made $7,000, you brought home $3,500. They used it as a big money scheme. And again, those gyms were never that busy. And so they come in, they get everybody sold on memberships, and then they make sure, or they bank on most people not using them, and then the equipment lasts longer. So it's a hell of a business plan. And to me, I don't want to suck into that business plan. So screw Planet Fitness, screw Lifetime Fitness, screw all those places. And most of those places, in my opinion, the biggest downfall to them, they don't even have the right damn equipment. No reverse hypers, no glute ham raises, no belt squat machines. These are things that the average people really need to get better at. They don't need a weight stack machine that has poor leverages that cleans up really nice and looks cool and really doesn't fix anything. And that's what you find in these places is it's a bunch of foo-foo material and pieces that just attract the general population. And it's ridiculous because the problem is that those types of facilities prey on the average person's ignorance, and that's why they don't have the right stuff. So, all right, well, I'm sweating pretty good. This was a pretty good YouTube live. Please go on the YouTube channel and like and start commenting on the videos. Help me out as much as you guys can, and talk to you guys soon. Later.